there, I'm here today to do my top 10 TBRs for 2020. Not all of these are going to be anticipated releases. I do have another video for that. I will include a link below and in the corner for that. These are just 10 books I really want to get read before the end of 2020, just because either I really enjoy the author or I've started the series and I just want to work towards finishing it. And this is a good way to do it. And then I have the whole year to get it done because I am a mood reader, so having a concrete or cemented TBR doesn't really suit me very well. The first one is Night of the Dragon by Julie Kagawa. This is the third and possibly final installment in the Shadow of the Fox series that I've really enjoyed the series thus far. I adored the first book. I enjoyed the second book, even if I didn't like it as much as the first, and I'm really excited to see where all of the characters end up and kind of how the world and seeing kind of how their adventure ends up wrapping up. The second book I intend to read is Fallout by Harry Turtledove. I read Bombs Away, which is the first installment in this series, called the Hot War series, in early 2019. It is an older series, but it's an alternate history about what would have happened if the Cold War had escalated to actual nuclear bombs being dropped into actual war overall. And like I said, the first book was very well written from multiple perspectives with a really good job doing a worldview in the same way that like Max Brooks' World War Z gave me a worldview. And because of that, I've really wanted to pick up the second book and I just haven't had time yet, and I want to make time in 2020 to continue this series because I did enjoy that alternate history so much. The third book I'm wanting to read before the end of 2020 is The Huntress by Kate Quinn. That came out this year. I just didn't get time to read it. I had a hard time getting a copy of it in terms of audiobook or book from my library because it has been so kind of requested. However, I found a copy of it today at a used bookstore, so that's going to make it that much easier for me to read it before the end of 2020. And hopefully that'll be one of the first ones I'm able to check off the list. The fourth book I want to read is Feed by Mira Grant. I read her parasitology series and I really, really enjoyed it, so I really want to get into this other series she's written. I don't feel like Zombie Apocalypse, while it has been overdone, I haven't read so many of them that I'm quite jaded with it yet, so I'm excited to see how it goes, especially with an author I trust. I'm really excited to see how it plays out, and I'm hoping to pick up the first book. The fifth book I want to read is The Moon Over Soho by Ben Aronovich. This one is the second in a series. I read the first one early this year. I'll include a link above and below for the review I did for it. It is low fantasy, and while it wasn't like my absolute favorite book, I definitely enjoyed the world they created enough to try the second one to get to know the characters a little bit more. So I'm hoping to pick that up to continue the series. The sixth book I'm putting on my TBR is A Slate of Shadows by Kat Howard. And Unkindness of Magicians was one of my favorite books I read this year. It was different, it had fun tones, and I just loved the idea of the magical mafia style kind of feel to it. So I'm excited to see where the second one goes, and hopefully it keeps the same tone, the same feel, and just gives us some more world building, so it really kind of helps cement the characters and how the interactions between the houses work. The next book on my list is The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. I did read Poppy War earlier this year, although I didn't do a review for it. I was really torn about whether or not to do one. Just the way it went, I enjoyed the book enough that I want to read the companion, like the next book in the duology, but I don't know if I'm going to review them. I'm excited to see if the second book kind of evens out the series for me. The eighth book on my list is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I read and loved The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I've been told by a few people and read and heard in a few reviews that if you liked that, you'll probably enjoy Daisy Jones and the Six. It has a very similar feel to it. So I do want to pick it up because of that, because I did enjoy that so much. The ninth book I'm putting on my TBR is A House of Salt and Sorrows. I really enjoy fairy tale retellings, and this is one I'm not as familiar with, so I'm interested to see what the tone of the book is compared to kind of what I'm able to find through research about the original tale. This one did come out recently, but due to time, budget, and just the number of books I want to read, I haven't been able to pick it up yet, but I'm hoping to pick it up before the end of next year. And then the final installment on my 2020 TBR is Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. I've heard from a lot of people that these authors do a very good job with contemporary romance. I don't read tons of chick lit, but I do enjoy it when I pick it up. So I'm hoping it fills the kind of role I'm hoping it to. Most of the chick lit I read is kind of like somewhat like Sophie Kinsella, and I don't know if this will be like that, but I'm hoping that it'll be sweet, cute, and quick, which is what I'm looking for. And with that, those are the top 10 books I'm putting on my 2020 TBR. There are a few more, but these are the important ones that I want to get out of the way. And with all of that said, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!